Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Josh. Welcome back to another toy review, and today we're here to take a look at the Ultra Monster Series number 59, Twin Tails. Yeah, honestly, not really sure where to really go with this character. I mean, obviously, he has like one of the most obscure designs ever, throughout the series, even though there's been a lot more weirder. But for sure, this is definitely one of the ones that kind of stands out in a way, not just because of just the design, but even the sort of aesthetic and like how he kind of walks and all that. So he first appeared in the series Return of Ultraman that was released in 1971, and he first appeared in episode 5, Two Giant Monsters Attack Tokyo. Yeah, pretty I know that's kind of a simple title for an episode, but to be fair, pretty much almost the entire series of Return of Ultraman, a lot of the episodes has the word monster in it a lot. So yeah, I don't know, man. So of course, what makes him interesting too is of course he was rivals with Gyudon. I'll show you him on the side right here. They're sort of like enemies in a way. So Gyudon, I believe he appears like towards the end of the episode, and then we get to see him more in the next one called Showdown Monsters vs. Matt. And in case you're wondering, Matt, that's the Science Patrol in that series, basically. And Gyudon, he's the weird, kind of kaiju with the giant tentacle arms and stuff like that, though. But of course, like I say, he's definitely one of Tsuburaya's like more popular kaiju's, within the Ultra series, because Twin Tails have definitely appeared in other entries, such as Ultraman Mebius. I believe he did appear in was it Ultra? I'm trying to remember what it was. And it was that one show where it was just pretty much all different kaiju's fighting each other. Uh Ultra Monster, whatever it was. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Ultra Fight Orb. And I kid you not, I am not joking. In Ultraman Decker, there was literally an entire colony of these things. I was like, bro, I was shocked, honestly. I was like, word, I mean, it's good to see that this character's still around even after all this time. So of course, without further ado, before we take a look at the figure, of course we gotta take a look at the tag right here. So as you can see, it utilizes a nice little picture of Ultraman Jack fighting against Twin Tails. And it's very interesting to kind of note down how this whole thing works, especially with the suit. Because obviously, I'll show it in the figure because it does kind of show the appeal of the design a little bit of just sort of how he stands and how he walks. So this is, number 59 because these tags are never in order by appearance. They're just kind of random like that. This figure came out back in 2014. Of course, there's nothing in the back, and then there's nothing in the inside. Not much going on. So, of course, let's take a look at the actual figure. And obviously, I mean, not really sure where to start. He don't really got arms or legs. He's just like one giant, like, thing. I don't even know what he's supposed to be, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, again, though, he looks really cool. I love how sort of, like, original the design looks. And I'm just trying to put up the brightness so you can see all the nice little details. And of course, he's still got the same old kind of wrinkles and cracks here and there because, of course, the rough skin. And then you got the backside, which is mostly of a sort of dirt green color, but it's like one of those like really, really dark green kind of. Uh, I feel like it's a different kind of paint. I don't think it's too much related to green, but that's kind of how it looks for me. And as you can see the weird little feet, which, I mean, at least for the most part, I don't think it's supposed to be feet. I think that you're supposed to get the idea that he's basically like one giant tentacle or one giant, like, weird shroom thing. I have no idea what he's supposed to be. But obviously, this is just meant for, like, when the suit actors are trying to act out and, fight Ultraman, whatever. And then, of course, he gotta kind of walk somehow. So because of that, the monster does kind of move a little funky, what I mean? So honestly, you get the vibes that he's supposed to be like this, but in the actual show, he's like this, which, I mean, that's gotta be hell for the suit actor. And that also, of course, explains this portion right here. You'll notice that despite how interesting he kind of looks, I mean, we'll go over his face in a little bit. You'll notice mostly this portion right here. From what I can remember, I think it's supposed to be like an outside organ. It's supposed to be like a weird piece of him outside, basically. That's how he is. Oops, didn't mean to show that. The outside of my set. From what I can remember, that's what it's supposed to be. This is supposed to be his weakness. And I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be painted like red or like red and blue. I don't really remember it ever really being silver. I could be wrong, who knows? You know, maybe it's one of those things where throughout the series it kind of changes colors, although I'm not really too sure per se. What I will say is that this figure is painted perfectly. I mean, it looks great. And of course, as we look at the I'm so done with this face. I mean, look at that. Look how charming this little bastard looks. Look at that, and his little teeth showing, all painted gray and all that. That's the thing. It's painted perfectly, despite that weird organ thing, you know, with the colors and all that. One thing that does kind of stand out is this part where my thumb is, where this is actually supposed to be painted red, and as you can see, it's not painted at all. But it's not really like a major thing. It's not like a huge big deal. It might be a big deal for maybe some people, because obviously it's somewhat distinguishable. It's not really one of those things that you could just kind of ignore and all that, but you get the point. You know, it's like, probably would have been nice to be painted, but I'm not gonna really put any negative points on the figure for that. I think that's kind of dumb. So of course, let's go over the you know, a little bit. You know, I just want to talk a little bit more about the details too, because I love how, like, when you feel this, like the weird roughness, and then you can feel the difference with like the smoothness here. That's like great detailing right there. You know, with all the vinyl plastic and all that. And of course, yes, he is kind of soft. You could kind of squish him a little bit. You need to put some force, but not too much. And, you know, it's even a little bit more squishy up here. Like I say, the way that the plastic works for some of these figures is that, you know, it's like a vinyl sort of plastic. It's like sort of soft but kind of hard. It really does depend on like the hardening and what like layers and stuff like that. So obviously, as you can see, he stands up perfectly fine. So of course, he's gonna feel more heavy down here than he is up here. So, you know, it's just science, folks, I guess. And you know, and a little bit more. I'll show a little bit more just to get the idea, because I do like the paint. Kind of gives off these weird sort of like spray vibes too, like they probably sprayed it somewhat. Obviously, these figures are always made very differently. They're, you know, they're either handmade or made in a factory of some sort. I know I've read it somewhere, but you get the point, you know. And then of course you get the bottom, and it says 2014. Already went over that. So of course, let's go over the articulation, which is it's pretty non-existent. The only thing that really moves is his tiny little tentacles, and that's about it. There's really nothing else you can really do with the figure. I mean, you could kind of pose, make him do some stuff, you know, if you want him to fight against Jack and all that. That sounds a little wrong, but, you know, okay, I'll give you an example, you know, you know, like that. And, you know, you can even reenact, like, if you want, capturing him trying to bind his feet. I don't know. You could do whatever you want with him, I guess. And I guess, of course, that begs the question with the sizing, because it's another one of those weird 50-50 kind of situations where, yes, he's supposed to be a lot more bigger. He's not supposed to be that small. But for what we're getting, it's not bad either. It's like 50-50, you know. You're either okay with it or you're not okay with it. It's one of those kind of scenarios, because it is pretty weird, you know. But, like, I think it's fine that he's not that big, you know. You probably think that he could be bigger because there's really not much going on except for the tentacles. But then again, that's I don't know. There's probably some sort of like sizing range that they probably go with when it comes to these figures. Because sometimes you do get monsters that are size accurate. Most of them are not, you know. But again, I hate to really give this figure some negative points just because of that. Because it's still a really nice looking figure. I've said it once, you know, twice. I said it 100 times, and I'll say it again. I'm not going to really fault a figure for, you know, downsizing, you know, as long as all the details are there. And again, you know, I mean, it's a really great looking figure. I don't really have anything sort of negative to say about it, you know. So, of course, I guess now that we're getting towards the end, here's the little size comparison right there. And then, of course, I mean, you can't have Twin Tails without Gyudon, you know, and that's, he's not the next figure that we're going to review, but of course, obviously, when it comes to the Ultraman stuff, we're going to take a look at him next time. You know, well, not next time, but the way that I do my videos is I'm trying to review the Ninja Turtle figures one week and then Ultraman the next week or so. There might be some changes here and there within the schedule. I'm not too sure, because I was supposed to put this video out yesterday, but I had some issues. But you get the idea, and, you know, he looks really cool. You know, you got rivals, basically. For the most part, I'm pretty sure they've always been rivals. I can't really remember a time that they were actually buddies and they fought together. I think most of the time they just pretty much hated each other. But whatever, just to kind of give you an idea with the sizing here and there. And is that about it? Just trying to look around, see maybe I compare it to some other stuff. I mean, you guys know I've been obsessed with G.I. Joes lately, so why not? Let's compare him to Snake Eyes from the Snake Eyes and Timber 2 pack. Oh, I would love to review these guys, but let me my career's still pretty young, so let me not. I don't want to do any sort of major reviews yet. Although I do plan on reviewing more Godzilla figures next year, you know, because of the upcoming movie. So there you go, just to kind of give an idea. And there might or might not be a toy hunt tomorrow, maybe, I can't promise that. And yeah, so there you go. So that kind of ends it here. Finally, a toy review that's not super long. Hopefully this thing doesn't take forever to upload. But yeah, so final thoughts. I give him a 10 out of 10. I think he's a really good figure. You know, he looks nice. I love the weird face. It looks great. I think the design aesthetic it captures it perfectly. For the most part, I can't really see anything, you know, bad to talk about, you know, and that's about it. So yeah, there you go. So alrighty. Thank you guys for watching the review, same as always, and you know, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see some more, and that's about it. See ya.